All right, welcome back to the channel, everybody. We took a little break from arrowhead hunting today. There's still a lot of snow on the ground back home. We decided to go on a little bit of a drive. I didn't want to go to the mountains. I was afraid there was going to be too much snow to see some of the things we wanted to see up there. So we decided to head south, go down through New River Gorge, and visit the old ghost town of Thurmond. They still got a little train station here, and there's a lot of houses in the background that are preserved by the New River Gorge National Park. We're going to go up and we're going to take a look at everything. Nestled along the New River, Thurmond isn't your typical West Virginia town. Once a thriving hub of activity, this small community owes its existence and its unique character to the railroad. In its prime, Thurmond was a major stop on the Chesapeake and Ohio Railway, a vital link in transporting coal from the region's mines to the rest of the country. Imagine the scene: the rhythmic chug of steam locomotives, the constant flow of coal cars, the bustling energy of a town completely reliant on the iron horse of trains. This wasn't just a railroad stop, it was a self-contained community, complete with hotels, stores, and a vibrant social life, all fueled by the coal industry. The magnificent architecture you see today, the beautifully preserved depot, the hotel, and even the general store all stand as silent witnesses to this era. But the coal industry, like many others, eventually waned. The mines closed, the trains became less frequent, and Thurmond's population dwindled. Yet, in its decline, Thurmond also found a new purpose. Its well-preserved historic buildings have become a captivating time capsule, drawing visitors who want to experience a glimpse of the old West Virginia. Today, Thurmond is a popular stop in the New River Gorge National Park for history buffs, railroad enthusiasts, and anyone fascinated by the stories of old etched into the stone of these old buildings. It's a reminder of a bygone era, a testament to the power of human industry, and a beautiful example of preservation efforts that allow us to connect with our past. So as far as I know, this is the only way in and out of town. You come down through US 119. I think it's called Don Glen or Glen Jean, or the two towns up through there. You could come down through and hit the Thurmond Road. And it's about a 6-mile road straight into here. And the other way out is the railroad tracks. There is a Amtrak that comes through, I think on Wednesdays going this way and the next Wednesday going that way, called the Cardinal Route, that you could get on. But other than that, pretty much the only way out of here is that way. Now, I do believe this one's fully restored. It's been a long time since I've been in it. A lot of the other buildings, they've just kind of worked on the facade, or there's older brick buildings like down there, the bank and a couple others. But this one here is fully restored. Little neat fact, if you've ever seen the movie Matewan, that stars Chris Cooper and James Earl Jones, Matewan was filmed in this town. All right, right here is an infograph for the Glen Hotel. And if I remember right, it's set across the river right there, maybe? Where you see those little buildings? There's pictures of it you could look up online, and you could match with that hillside to figure out where it was. But I'll focus on this. You could pause and read it. I know something cool that they talk about the Glen is it allegedly held the world record for the longest poker game ever played. I guess down there's where you'd wait on your train if you were going to board the Amtrak. All right, we're going to go up the stairs to the second floor of the train depot. It says here that this was the conductor's office. A little bit of an informal sign there. Hear the river a lot better up here. What's wrong?
There's cardboard people.
Oh, the kids got scared. They said they looked in there and saw people staring back at them. What'd be even scarier is if one of them moved. McKell's Coal and Coke. That's the only thing written on any of these doors. The rest of them are all blank. All right, here's the Thurmond station of the Amtrak. You could get on the Cardinal train in Prince on the eastern side and as far west as Huntington before you go over into Ohio or Kentucky. I'm not too sure. But that route goes from DC to Chicago and Chicago to DC and comes through West Virginia, I think, every Wednesday. All right, there's one that says waiting room. We're going to go up on the hill a little bit and go into the remnants of the neighborhoods on the hill. A lot of these houses are still preserved. There's still a couple that people live in. I think there's only maybe 5 or 6 people at the most that still live in the town. Little memorial stones in here on the way down here to the brick buildings. We're gonna get a look at everything down here. They got the National Bank, and I think right here's the post office. It's got a little bit of Christmas decorations on it still. All right, yeah, that's the post office. I don't know if it's still in operation or not. It's still got its Christmas decorations up. All right, we got a really long train coming through. It's been going by at least 5 minutes now. I'd say this thing's at least 2 miles long. Here's the beginning of the brick buildings. New River Banking and Trust Company. There's not too much inside them. They just preserved the building's exterior for optics sake. It'd be cool if they did fix the insides up. All right, here's a good view of everything. See that in there? Try to zoom in. It gives you a little timeline of everything that was built. Got it crazy here. Here's some more infographs you can look at. Try to zoom in. These windows are dirty. Just pause and read these as you go. There's a little map of what used to be around the town. Some of this is gone. Kincaid building. Some quotes from people, a little bit more info. Oh, I wonder if that's a bullet hole. Rosie's trying to break into the National Bank. Get out of here, bub. We're going to get this infograph. Pause and read that. Well, because back in the day, there used to be hundreds of people that lived in this town. It was a lot bigger than it is now. So they had to have a couple of banks. All right, it says you are here, but there isn't much left. You look, what I just showed you's that wall right there. And everything else going from this building to that building, it's all gone. Save maybe for that. All right, that little building over there is nicely preserved. Little Happy New Year sign, and then a couple really well preserved buildings down there. And I'm at the bottom of what I think some kind of what they call a tipple. So I'm gonna go looking around in here. You gotta be really careful. If you fall in something like that, it's about 6-7 feet down. That'd hurt you. You can see in here, there used to be a split come off and the trains would come in here. And from what I understand up there, they would dump out coal. There's some kind of mechanism that's not there anymore. When I got here and get a look at this, we were just in Chicago a few months ago, got a lot of videos and shorts of that. And I noticed something up here. Fairbanks and Moores of Chicago, C&O 1922. Oh, let me see. Yeah, it's probably original wooden door, at least maybe from the 50s or 60s. That's a narrow door. A lot of old stuff on here still. Probably from when they originally built it. Looks like that one weird movie, like a Tim Burton movie. All kinds of graffiti. And we got this little building over here I wanted to mosey on over and look in. Oh, a little surprise here. Some kind of engine. Got another room in there, barely seeing. It's not very big. Not much to see in here. You got a little place that goes about 3 feet recessed into the ground. I'm not sure what this would have been. Maybe a little depot building, but the main depot's back there. Maybe some kind of storage or offices. All right, and here's a couple of the restored buildings right along the train tracks. Some of the houses people live in are up there. We're going to do a little drive around where you can drive and show you some of these preserved houses, and some of them people still live in. All right, just walking down there, I saw something really neat way up here on the hill. I don't know if it's been some kind of old building. There's a rail trail or abandoned train tracks up there. And right there in the middle, right here, I seen a little structure up there. All right, we're gonna take a little drive up through and around the town where we could get around in a truck and look at some of these old houses. There's the old church. I don't think there's too much behind it. Come through right here, there's a bunch of fence. There's a flat area up there, some buildings. And then we come around the corner here. We got the first couple of houses up through here. And that might be where somebody lives because there's still Christmas lights and a couple trucks. Yeah, I do believe these houses here are the ones people still live in. The guest house. Must be where you can rent to stay. Got a couple of historic buildings here. Looks like you might be able to stay in them, or maybe park rangers stay in them. And this one down here, it looks like it. It doesn't look like anybody could stay in it. It might just be one of the ones that's preserved to look at. Old house here, right underneath a huge rock face. All right, right here, we're right above all the buildings we looked at that were downtown, the banks and town hall. And the coal tipple's just right out that way. Here's one of the houses I remember people living in when I came down here for one of the first times about 10 or 12 years ago. I don't know what that says up there. Guest house now. It might have been a guest house back then too, maybe. I thought somebody lived in it because I remember seeing cars at it at one time. A couple old houses below us. See the huge hills. There's an overlook up there. Huge hills around us. And this one here's starting to get lost to time. Stuff's falling off of it and trees are growing right up against it. There goes the train. We got one earlier, and there comes another one going the opposite direction. This house here's really falling in. Windows busted. The porch is about to fall in on it. And we got one up there that's not too bad. Got an older tin roof on it. That's kind of the end of the road right here. And we've got this little red one, and it goes back down towards town through here. Right, got a couple coming down the hill here. And then this, like I said, goes right back down towards the railroad tracks where we were a little bit ago. All right, that about does it. Me and Bub just got one more thing we want to go down here and do before we head out of town. All right, I just wanted to get a little bit of a look at that. I thought that little tower was cool. But also, I wanted to get a look at this here. The reason why is I had a YouTuber that I used to follow. He passed away late last year, named Hobo Shoestring. And he actually used to do a lot of hobo videos, I guess. I call it train hopping. But he'd actually camped out between these two buildings waiting for the trains through here. I'm not sure where he came from. I haven't watched all of that series yet. But I just wanted to take a look at this kind of see where he stayed and remember it. If you guys have never watched, to check out hobo shoestring, just train hopping in general. It's really fun to watch. All right, that's it for today's video. If you guys liked it, make sure you subscribed if you haven't yet. Be sure to leave a like on the video and let us know what you thought down in the comments. We're going to head out here and get us some grub. We'll see you next time.